Hello students, as your homework I have given you to prove that the electric flux phi is equal to integral E dot ds is equal to q by epsilon naught. As a homework I have given you this particular statement and you need to prove this statement. Now let us consider its proof. In this video in the starting we are going to consider the proof of that this particular expression, this particular mathematical expression of our Gauss law. Now integral E dot ds is equal to, now as it is a dot product of E and ds, so we can write integral E dot ds as E ds cos of theta, as E, as we have a dot product of E and ds, thus we can write it as integral E dot ds can be written as E ds cos of theta. If theta is equal to 0 degree, theta is nothing but, as we know from its statement, that it is the angle between E and ds, the angle between our electric field vector E and the area element vector ds. If theta is equal to 0, if theta is nothing but equal to 0, then integral, this expression can be simply written as integral E ds cos of 0, integral E ds cos of 0. And by simple mathematics we all know that the value of cos of 0 is nothing but 1. By simple mathematics, we know that the value of cos 0 is nothing but equal to 1. Therefore, this expression can be written as equal to integral E ds. This expression can be written as equal to integral E ds. Now, moving ahead, as we know that the value of electric field vector E is kq by r square. I have done nothing over here. I have taken the electric field vector E out from the integral. I have simply taken the electric field vector E out from the integral. From the previous videos, if as I came to know, again I am repeating this thing which I have told you in previous video, that there is some problem in some videos. So don't worry, consider this expression only from this video. We are going to consider that part also by some means, in some parts or during some things by our videos. Okay, as the value of electric field vector is kq by r square, and here k is nothing but force constant, and the value of k is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. The value of k is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now kq by r square can be written as it is, multiply by integral ds. As in our previous video, I have given you that how we can draw the electric field. As referring to the previous video, we have drawn the two expressions, the two figures rather, which shows the electric field. In one figure, I have shown a spherical symmetry. I have shown a sphere, a charge in the center. I have shown the electric field vector, the direction of electric field vector E, and the direction of ds also in that figure respectively. So, referring to that figure, we have considered a sphere. We have considered a sphere. And as we know, the area of sphere is nothing but equal to 4 pi r square. By the mathematical formulas, we know that the area of sphere is nothing but equal to 4 pi r square. The area of our sphere is nothing but equal to 4 pi r of square. Now, thus we can write, we can write this thing as it is, as kq by r square multiply by integral of ds is having the value equal to area of sphere, that is 4 pi of r square. It is having the value equal to 4 pi r square. Evaluating further, considering the value of k as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught multiply by q by r square and multiply by 4 pi r of square. Cancelling some terms, cancelling some values from numerator and denominator, we are left with q by epsilon naught. Cancelling some terms from top and bottom, we are left with q by epsilon naught. So in this way, we have proved a very simple and a very important formula or the mathematical statement that electric flux is nothing but equal to integral of E dot ds is having the value equal to Q by epsilon naught. The value of electric flux is nothing but equal to Q by epsilon naught. Now, this is the mathematical formula of Gauss law, and the statement of Gauss law I have given to you in your previous video. Considering now the applications of Gauss law. Now we have to consider the applications of Gauss law. The first application of Gauss law is electric field due to an infinitely long charge wire. Electric field due to an infinitely long charge wire. We have a charge wire which is very long. Infinitely long means a very long wire. Now consider this figure. This is our charge wire. The portion which I have darked to you, which I have shown to you by darking it, is nothing but our charge wire carrying a positive charge, which can be shown from figure. Now, in particular, when we have to solve such questions, we are given any body, we are given any element to us, and we have to calculate the electric field due to those elements. We will consider some surfaces. We will consider another body. For example, in this particular case, in order to solve the question, the application, the first application of Gauss law, that is the electric field due to an infinitely long charge wire, we have done nothing but have considered a cylindrical Gaussian surface. This thing is our cylindrical Gaussian surface. This is our cylindrical Gaussian surface. Now, moving ahead. Let this is a point P. Let this is a point P. The distance from this point to this point is R. The distance from this point to this point is R. This is the direction of electric field E. The electric field vector E, and this is also the direction of the area element vector ds. I have shown it by arrows that this is the direction of electric field vector E and the area element ds. In this face, at these two faces, the direction of electric field is again this E. The direction of electric field is again this E. But the direction of our field vector is this one, in upwards direction. In upwards direction. In the similar way, at this phase, the direction of electric field is again this one. We have the same direction of electric field at all the faces. The direction of electric field is again this one, and the direction of area element is this. And the direction of area element is this. So we have considered the three portions, this portion, and this portion. And you can see from here that at this portion and this portion, the angle between E and ds is 90 degrees. The angle between E and ds is 90 degrees. Now, And also at this portion, the angle between E and DS is 0 degrees. The angle between E and DS is 0 degree. I have written these things over here and not use the next page. The reason being this important figure. I have to explain you this thing by considering this figure only. So I hope that this important thing is now clear to you. Again I am repeating, at this point the angle between E and DS is 90 degree. Again, at this point, the angle between E and DS is 90 degree. And at this particular portion, the angle between E and DS is 0 degrees. The angle between E and DS is 0 degrees. Thus, moving ahead. Due to two phases, the electric flux is as integral E dot ds is nothing but equal to EDS cos of 90 degrees. I have shown you in the figure the angle between E and DS is nothing but 90 degrees. So this is nothing but equal to 0. Therefore, we have reached to an important thing that the electric flux due to two phases is nothing but equal to 0. The electric flux due to the two phases is nothing but equal to 0. Now, what is the electric flux due to the curved surface? What is the electric flux due to the curved surface? The value of electric flux is as indicated or denoted by phi is equal to integral of E dot ds. Don't get confused that here I have written E and ds with a vector sign. Again I am repeating, when I am again and again saying that E is nothing but electric field vector and ds is nothing but the element, the surface element vector. So you are clear with that simple thing that we are having a vector sign over here. If at some point I haven't indicated a vector sign, then this particular thing should be clear to you. So electric flux is equal to integral E dot ds. That is equal to integral E ds cos of 0. As from the figure, I have shown you that an angle is of 0 degrees. So, integral E, we have taken E outside and the area of cylinder is given by 2 pi RL. If R is its radius and L is the length of our considered cylinder. And E is again left. E is again left. Also, considering this as equation 1, we have also considered that flux is equal to Q by epsilon naught. From our simple Gauss law, we have considered that flux is equal to Q by epsilon naught. कर चुके हैं, यहाँ तो कुछ दिक्कत है. We have considered flux is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Therefore, simply comparing the equation 1 and equation 2, we can write it as 2 pi RL multiply E is equal to Q by epsilon naught. 2 pi RL multiply E is equal to Q by में epsilon naught. Thus E is equal to Q by में 2 pi r l into epsilon naught. E is equal to Q by 2 pi r l into epsilon naught. And this is an important expression for the electric field due to the long charge infinite wire. Now as your homework, you have to try the electric field due to a charge sheet and learn or consider this important expression. Every step of this expression, this cylindrical, whether it is our proof of our Gauss law or it is our case of the electric field due to an infinitely long charge wire, this should be clear to you. And this is your homework. You have to calculate the electric field due to this charge wire. Thank you. Study hard.